Soon enough, once Beard shows me the
And
ropes,
we're
I can start running
live.
the stream myself.
The sky grows dark, decay underneath. The ravens in the sky, and kings shall deceive. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night. We'll fight, for kings, Ragnarok. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. The sounds of arms, fierce morality. Nightfall, the rain, and the silence leads. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night. We'll fight, for kings, Ragnarok, sail war. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok, drinker up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla.
Alright, welcome everybody. It's Blitzkrieg Pyro with Malco here. Doing the
What's going on?
doing the shoutcasting, entertaining everybody. We got an exciting game for you. We got Goat Kings versus HYG. HYG versus Goat Kings. The comeback of HYG and the return of
Oh,
Goat Kings. Take it away,
oh yeah,
Malco.
I'm hyped. We're sitting here with the semifinalists from last season, looking considerably stronger this time around for the first game of the season, going up against the very own Valhalla boy band and HYG. I'm really hyped for these two teams. This is looking like a real fun game, not only the cast but also for everyone and the viewers to watch. So for quick thoughts on these two teams, I was got the chance to talk to Beard earlier, and he's it's kind of like a toss up a little bit right now, where like Beard kind of thinks like, oh, maybe it'll be like one side is gonna get like really strong, and they're just gonna snowball at control. I'm feeling like these two teams are gonna definitely make it more. Not only in the sense of a bloody match, but it's gonna be a much more even match. I feel like we're looking at a potential nail biter here.
Yeah, I mean, we have two teams here that should have a lot of synergy. I mean, Go Kings returning four of its five player, or no, sorry, three of its five players from last season. Um, and then HYG, obviously they've played together for a long time, so they should have a lot of synergy. They have the four plus B Sin 2, but but still, I think they should have really good synergy, and this should be a really good first week for them both.
Definitely. It might be a little bit of a, not to put a pun on words, but a little salt in the wound for a Smoothie tonight, as he now has the top lane against his previous team. So this is definitely going to be a little something. I think for both teams is going to be a little bittersweet, but I think that's also going to bring out the competitive spirit in both. So I'm hyped.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. All right, you ready to jump into the draft?
Let's get on with it.
All right, HYG is team one. Good Kings is team two. First round of bans are in
Alrighty.
place. Take it away.
So for right now, for team one, that you said was HYG, correct?
Yep.
Alrighty, so team one being HYG, we have for bands real quick was Kane, Anivia, Pantheon. And for the side of Goat Kings, we see Kaisa, Ezreal, and Jax band. For picks right now, first pick went to Oriana immediately, as team two responds with the Seraphine and Maokai as a takeaway from the other side, with Jinx and Alistair, a decent bot lane combo, being picked up for team one. And then Ziggs to round out the first round of picks for Goat Kings as well. And now we're on the second part of the ban. Right now, both of these teams looking pretty strong. Personally, I definitely do like the Oriana Alistair combo, because he can just immediately basically point and click and get in the middle of the entire team. And then the ball ultimate, it's looking like they have a pretty decent plan on the side of HYG right now. And we see immediately an Olaf ban coming from Goat Kings, trying to take that away from Smoothie, with the Mordekaiser ban also being now being taken away from Salt. It looks like. I honestly can see these teams are they definitely did their homework on both on each other for this particular season. Probably looked at a lot of the matchups from last season and what they might have been playing recently. But I like a lot of these bands right now. They're really picking at each other, and to take away more engage, they took away the jungle rel on the side of Goat Kings, and for the final ban, HYG is thinking about it right now. I can't really. I think it's the 80 carry and junglers that have not been picked at this moment
Yeah.
potentially. Yeah, because I think the Maokai might be going towards the support role than anything. So they might end up banning out another deity champion here.
Yep.
Yep, and that, there goes the Belveth right there. So now we're going right into the second phase of picks. And I think now with the Belveth out, they know that he can't go on Swain. So
So the
I think
or actually the top still left to be picked. That Seraphine, that's going to be for Beard, so that's definitely going to be the AP carry.
oh okay, so and it
So
goes
Briar
into the
jungle,
Briar.
yeah, they're going to leave Salt the top counter against Smoothie.
Smart thing to do, definitely. I know that most times the Goat Kings, even on that end, it was always a even last season, it was kind of like, hey, let's try to give top the counter pick and see what ends up happening, which was definitely a really strong strategy to do, because it allowed for the most part either to play weak side or to pick strong when they needed to. And I think in response to the Briar, they're gonna look to pick up the Volibear. I like a lot of these options that they have to attempt to get into the middle of the team, to engage and utilize this Oriana ball and try to make a really big team fight happen for themselves on HYG's side. So this is I like the mission of their team, but definitely have to still take in consideration the skill on both sides. Goat Kings is not just gonna give this up to them. And to finalize that pick, they're putting Smoothie on the Renekton, giving him a much more carry topside, and once again still enabling the Oriana combo to be able to happen with so many different champions for that. And then Jinx off the back line just being able to free fire. I really do like HYG's composition, and I wonder what Goat Kings is going to do here to be able to finalize their picks and be like, all right, we can finally beat this out. They still have quite a few flexes, and they're giving set to Salt. This is going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, for anybody who isn't familiar with Salt, Set, that's definitely one of his top play champions. That, and he's been playing a lot of Pantheon lately. I know that was a good ban early too, though. So there's a lot. It's hard to ban out Goat Kings. You got to give up something. There's a lot of teams around here. You know, get some deep pools.
And that's
Um,
another thing about Go Kings. They're a heavy flex team too. Like if you look at this, their entire team in some ways could actually end up being flexed if they wanted to.
oh, absolutely.
Like it's actually it's extremely versatile for their team. Like we can tell with HYG's team, like they're a much more traditional team versus the Goat Kings where they like to experiment a lot. Like if anything, if they wanted to, the Maokai could have potentially went top, and I wouldn't have been surprised if they put Deity on like the Zac potentially, which is something that he has played prior to the prior in the past. But again, these two teams right now, I'm not sure if we're gonna end up getting a vote up in the chat to see who's gonna end up winning, but I'm definitely liking just
Fear
overall for
controls
HYG. I
them.
just like their composition in general. I tend to be that type of person who's like, if it has a clear mission and it can clearly like do like you clearly can tell what it wants to do and it's so easy to execute, which for them they have a lot of go buttons, so it is going to be extremely easy for them to do so. I personally think that we're looking at a really good game. HYG, if they can get snowballing those Oriana ultimates, they're gonna hurt a lot for that team. And right now, the team on the side of Go Kings, they are looking a little bit squishy too. And the Maokai is not gonna be super like early on like the big tank that they're gonna need to be able to absorb a lot of the damage versus where they have Renekton and Volibear who can easily frontline even in the early game. So they just have to really be careful of what they see from this frontline side. I have not experienced a whole lot of Briar gameplay as of yet, so this is actually going to be very interesting. And I like the fact that it's Deity playing this because it's a really high skill cat player who's going to be able to maybe show us a little bit what this Briar can do. So again, I'm hoping for a really good game.
Yeah,
Come
should
on,
be
I
an
won't
excellent,
hurt you.
entertaining game.
I
I'm
promise.
trying to figure out how to put up that poll. Have to reach back in my knowledge bank here.
If I remember correctly, I think you do it through Streamlabs.
We will be waiting.
If anyone in the chat wants to help us out real quick, we're not afraid to admit that sometimes we need a little help. So, help a brother. Help me. Man, I really do like I like how these picks are going. I like really both these teams. And really funny thing. So what I like the fact about both that like it's top and support are the two roles that both the teams have like they added on to their team. So like they're basically like the new people to each of these two. And I just find that extremely like funny that now like both these teams now they got their core middle and now the two others are now just being added back into the mix, and this is just gonna like I can't wait to see like how this all works out. It almost feels like these teams are on like literal even grounds.
I don't know who was typing from the command account, if that was Hailstrom or Goat King Beard himself, but just who was going to win this game.
If anything, I can't I don't think I have the current capacity to be able to say like a definitive like, oh, this person's gonna win or this person's gonna win or this particular team's gonna win, this particular team's gonna win. It's more like, oh man, I'm at this point now where just again you look at both these teams and you already know honestly like some of the more popular players in the league considerably more, some of the more popular players in the league are on both these teams, or at least some of the more well-known names in the league are on both these teams. And we do see like I was saying it during the draft this season. A lot of these teams, if they didn't get better from last season, it's just a generally more even league. It felt like a lot of the teams and a lot of players that were picked with obviously aside from salaries, but like trying to even the teams out and trying to really make certain points strong. So I can't really like say who's gonna win personally. If people want to just start typing in chat, listen, I don't care. I'll count it out. We'll see who the votes are at the end. Just give us either HYG or Goat Kings in chat. I'm seeing quite a few people who are already saying HYG though. Smoothie with the boys are back. Yes, sir. And thank you for that tier 1 sub, sir. And don't forget to use your Prime subs here at Valhalla Esports. Guarantee your badge of love for 30 days with us here by also supporting the league. Every time you use that Prime sub, it always supports all of us here. Allows us to be able to do obviously more with production chat, able to do more with the league. It's just making the league better, guys. So for everybody that's here, let's go. Do I get a lower salary? I personally I don't know salaries, so you might have to ask somebody in the who's in the admins there.
I think both these teams kind of went for a team fight comp, and I'm really interested in the Wombo of Goat Kings. Uh, Again, you get the Orion on HYG and a couple of all-in options, so they're definitely looking to go in. But just even if they initiate, I like the Seraphine's ability to counterplay there.
That's something I was thinking about too. Even though it's a very simplistic comp for HYG, that could actually prove to be a problem for them. Also, is the fact that they kind of just have this very telegraph one thing that they're gonna attempt to do. They have 3 different go buttons. All of them are gonna attempt to have the ball on them to jump in the middle and try to get one really big Oriana ultimate to work. Even if it lands on like 2 people, as long as it lands on the potential carries Seraphine and or Ziggs, that's what they're looking for. Like that's their targets. I feel that it's going to like that's another thing. Like as you said, there's so much potential for like disengaging. Like you have the Maokai ultimate, you have Set who can actually just jump in the middle of all of them as well. So and also disengage with his ultimate and drag them away from the team. So I think they have a lot of counter to that comp actually as well. And yep, with the Maokai being on the support, this is definitely gonna prove to be what we're looking at right now. Is that exactly what we're saying? I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words. I'm ready to get into this game, man.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, it's yeah, they both kind of want to go in, and just interesting if the you know that counterplay button from the Seraphine might be able to turn a lot of these fights. So it's gonna be really important who they pick off, and if they can get picks ahead of time to dictate some of those objective skirmishes.
All I know is that I never got the chance to ever play with Beard Seraphine at any point last season in any game. So getting to see it actually not be banned this time around, either the bot lane of HYG is like, yeah, we got this. Like we're confident. We're not worried about Beard Seraphine, or they really felt that other people were significantly more important that they just had to let it through. Um, I'm sure at the end of the games, once whoever wins, we'll be able to see what the thoughts were on that, because the again, Seraphine never gets through for Beard. It's a very rare thing.
Yeah, I mean the Nivea was a good ban. The Pantheon is a multi-flex ban, and then yeah, they wanted to limit Deity's pool. But they were willing to give up Briar to take away the Kane. So yeah, we'll see if those were the right choices.
And with that said, we're already into the game, making a couple of adjustments real quick. And we're getting this show on the road. Once again, you are joined by the casters for today's game. It is Malco here with Blitz, as you guys already know. And I'm seeing for the first game of the season, standard lines of scrimmage being set up by both teams. Blue side being HYG, red side being Goat Kings. The semifinalists of season 2 was last season, correct?
That's correct. This is the
Yes, this is
second
season
game.
3.
Second game
Listen,
being
guys,
streamed of season 3.
We got some guys. My head's all over the place. I'm so excited to finally be back on the cast, man. It's been a little bit. But yes, with this being game 2 of season 3, it's looking like for them, they just want to kind of play it safe. You don't want to potentially give anybody a reason to be able to snowball from both these teams. Again, both very, very strong from everybody in all the roles. And I feel like generally these are probably one of the most even teams to be going up against one another in the sake of like how each different role matches up. Yep, so they're gonna all just play it safe, no crazy invades, no no shenanigans to start the game off, and everybody starting on their respective bot sides, and looking like we're probably gonna get a slow start to the game, which is to be expected for teams like this. They're not thinking, oh, let's just try to snowball immediately early, even though HYG definitely had a pretty decent invade team if they really wanted to try to pull something off like that. And even with the decent amount of AD on the side of Goat Kings, I'm very, very curious as to how that's going to work for them. Level 2 being hit first by Goat King. Saw him going in for a small engage. Not going to really do too much, trying to chunk down Smoothie and scare him off. I'm sure Smoothie's not too scared of Salt on this set, but I'm sure he's still playing it safe and giving the respect that he needs to. And actually, damage being traded off, and because Salt keeps trying to push into the wave, Smoothie's getting the wins in these small trades. Both junglers pathing towards their top side, but it looks like DD ended up hitting his red first, as Salt is going in trying to get a little bit more damage onto Smoothie, keeping him off the wave, and he's going to hit 3 first. As he wards, I'm guessing he's going to try to set up for potentially not getting ganked, as now that he pushed in Smoothie, DD's not going to be able to do too much, but he is still hovering on that top side. Little fight going on. Once again, we're seeing a lot of trading going on. Dodged out using the dice from the slice and dice to be able to get away from the big true damage that the set could actually do to Renekton there, making him a little bit weaker. Set now backing after taking that damage, and the other lanes all looking a little bit even. Flash in, ignite down, gonna flash away, barely missing. Smoothie gonna be able to get away with his life ever so slightly, but still, that was a big flash ignite engage from Salt. He almost managed to secure that first blood for himself, but not going to be enough. But he did give Smoothie the back off, forcing that teleport out of him, as Deity is going to try to ghost in and go after the Orianna. Orianna bonkers, having to run down towards his bot side jungle, dash over the wall, going to land stun, having to get away, using the W to try to speed him up, but it might not be enough as the red buff goes to slow him down. Flash over the wall from Beeson. Deity caught in the middle of 3, having to try to get away. I don't know if you're going to be able to do it. Exhausted down, going over the wall as TJ is going to chase down the mid laner and jungler, but Deity going back in, not going to be enough. First blood going over to Marbra, as Marbra's going to try to go ahead and chase him down using the excitement that he got from that kill. Not going to be enough, as they're going to just take that first blood and roll with it. First blood going over to HYG.
Yeah, very good rotation by HYG, making sure they're rotating over for their jungler. Definitely were there first on the same page.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, like these two teams both looking really good, but the synergy from HYG, how long they've played together, literally being called the boy band, like we literally call them the boy band. It's just like, it just clearly shows that they do have that communication with one another. Even though Smoothie was pushed out of lane by Salt, he still teleported in. The rest of the team was able to rotate over to be able to help out Orianna, and it ended up being a first blood for the AD carry, which the further this Jinx is able to get ahead, the better for them. And the earlier they're able to get items, even more. Okay, little bit of fighting going on. It's not too much. It's well, Salt hitting level 6 first. Not sure if he's going to be able to utilize that advantage immediately, but he's going to engage onto Smoothie. Ult used, and he's going to slam him down. Smoothie going to be pretty low. Going to stun him down. Going to try to get a little bit of health. Salt not going to be able to chase down anymore. Missing once again, and it's not going to be enough. I know Salt is probably not happy with these constant engages, constantly getting him so close and not being enough. But now Salt going to have to run for life. Flash E in. Going to stun him down. Not going to be enough for you. TJ securing that kill. Salt, you were up too much, and now you're getting punished for it finally, as Deity's looking to hover here. But with both TJ, look like TJ's close to level 6 and Smoothie now being level 6, I don't think Deity's gonna want to engage on that unless TJ goes away. Deity only being level 5 might be enough. He's gonna have to go ahead, and right now Orianna ulti keeping Reaper in. Wow, that barely ends up missing. Is not gonna be enough, as Reaper's gonna be able to walk away. TJ not being 6, but it looks like he's gonna stick around. Maybe. Nope. Reaper's still safe. Nicely done there.
Excellent.
Didn't
teamwork.
have to use his. Yeah, didn't have to end up using his flash or anything to get away from them. But definitely, I did not expect that headbutt pulverize to actually land right there. Like, that was like on the bare edge of it. But Reaper's staying here. I don't think that'd be a good idea, especially if TJ is close to 6. You don't want him to engage on you here. Ultimate used by Ziggs to help clear the wave and prevent them from being able to get any more damage on that turret. And I think he's gonna back.
That's just great teamwork and rotation there. You know, showing the jungler top lane and the mid laners taking the jungler's top, not expecting Alistar to show up and pulverize them.
Yeah, and that Hex Flash definitely comes out as like a surprise. You're basically waiting for it. Like, once you're waiting in the channel, it's just like, oh, there's Alistar out of nowhere. There's a, like, you just see this bull just flash on your screen, and you're like, oh shit, now I have to react to something else. And like, that's probably like what makes Hex Flash so scary, especially with a roaming support like Alistar. And as you can see, Bsin is already thinking on that roaming stature as they go first item Moby Boots. So I am expecting a lot of roaming coming out of Bsin here, but TJ being here at the right place, right time, not gonna be able to utilize the headbolt pulverize to be able to lock down Samurai here, but definitely making something work, as they did get the flash out of Seraphine and from Samurai.
Looks like they might be trying to set up a dive here.
Oh, made a 4-man dive on bot lane, jumping in as the turret gets negated, and the ultimate used by Orianna gonna be enough to be able to take down Go King Beard, as another kill goes over to Jinx, and now TJ taking that immediate 2-for-0 in that bot lane side. That's probably also going to be the Drake and a turret play at the very least. Actually, no, Ziggs rotating to try to help save that turret. So instead, they're just going to go ahead, rotate over to Dragon. Good job from HYG being there for that rotation, being there for that tower dive, executing and showing this team's synergy. This is absolutely insane, but instead of just trying to trade that away, Deity's going to try to make something happen up top side. Not going to be able to do anything here, unfortunately, as he was seen by Smoothie, so he can just go ahead and dash away from him. And that's the Drake now secured by HYG. HYG now sitting at just a little under a 3K gold lead, and it's looking like they're trying to make something happen and keep pushing that lead even more, rotating their bot side up towards the top side and trying to get this Rift Herald now after securing the Drake, after that immediately well executed bot side tower dive. And Deity now being caught off by Bsin here, but Bsin, you might just be caught. Can this be the first kill secured for them? No, it's not. Bsin is barely able to get away. Go King Reaper being able to secure that kill off the back end, but is it gonna be enough? No, because now Smoothie's chasing you down. Dominance used, but what they doesn't know is that even so, the literal, like, it's just everything's going crazy. I'm sorry, but an ultimate from Salt with him rotating over is now able to secure 2 kills for them on the side of Goat Kings, which is actually really good for them, as they kind of needed possibly for that morale to reboost themselves after going 4-0 originally in the first about 8 minutes of this game. Sorry for that. It's just like, I was not expecting everything that was just about to happen right there, but I think they still ended up getting the Rift Herald for themselves on the side of HYG. So they still ultimately won and was able to execute their plan of what they wanted to do after getting everything from the bot side. But at least Goat Kings was able to trade something back for that, which a lot of the times they were losing stuff without getting anything back for it.
Yeah, finally saw HYG overstep just a little bit there. Go a little aggro going in, trying to get the kill, seeing red. So good job getting something back there by Goat Kings, but still HYG, they're dictating the pace of this game still right now. You got 2 kills on your Jinx already, on your primary carry there. I just really like their teamwork, and they're like, okay, no, this is what we're doing. They do it as a team. Nobody's sitting there going, okay, no, I gotta farm my lane. No, they're bought in together.
And right now, hold on, knocked back. Bonker's gonna have to end up using the flash to get away after being knocked up. But the headshot pulverize ends up missing. But Deity, that's not gonna be enough as they end up trading kills 1-for-1 at this current moment. But TJ going on a killing spree as TJ's gonna be trying to knock him down. But Maokai coming out of nowhere, ultimate used by the Volibear to negate the turret. Is it gonna be enough as Goat King Reaper TJ going on a rampage? Turret finally takes him down, kill going over for the shutdown to Samurai as B-Sin is able to get away. If B-Sin was able to tank that turret damage at the end there, that would have been enough for TJ to potentially also get away and not give that shutdown up. But it only ends up going on to the support, which might support them and getting that tankiness onto Maokai. But still, it's still an overall win to the side of HYG as they are sitting at just only just about a 1K gold lead. But I don't think Goat Kings has anything to fear just yet because they're starting to actually come back a little bit into this game.
Yep, they're doing a really good job farming across the board, keeping up slightly ahead, even though they're down kills. But don't forget still the Rift Herald on TJ, on Volibear. So it's interesting to see where he's going to focus on using that. Looks like it might be on bot lane here with the Orianna. That'd be very important to get that Orianna going.
Especially looking like right now, I see about 3 turret plates on that side.
There's a
and
collapse
hold on.
by Goat Kings.
Goat Kings collapsing, but HYG also collapsing on the top. Now the 2v2 as a support top laner versus jungle top. And everything's going on as the fight is going big here. 3 ultimates used on the bot side. The Q missing as Bonkers can't get away as he's on the wrong side of the jungle. Goat King Reaper gonna be able to secure a kill for himself. TJ trying to chase down Beard, but it's not gonna be enough. But they don't end up seeing the Jinx coming from the side. Being able to land the zip zap on them. Gonna be able to keep Samurai down, but knocking them away is not gonna be enough to kill him as the flash goes in, ignite, and boom, solo kill going right over to Goat King's Salt as they are able to finally get a little bit more back and bring the game in even closer, sitting at just under a 400 gold deficit. And they're gonna be able to maybe get a little bit more as Samurai is trying to be able to jump onto Marbra, but TJ jumping back in, landing onto him, gonna get CC down, shut down onto the Jinx, off Jinx, going right over to Reaper, and a nice little kill going right over to Beard as he's able to get one for himself. Now the Goat Kings are finally starting to show their power, and they were not afraid being behind. This is how this team generally likes to play. They like to fool you into a false sense of security like you might actually end up having it, and look what's going on now. They're starting to stabilize, and you're not going to be able to beat this team that easily, securing the first turret for themselves. A really good trade back, and now they're sitting in the driver's seat, 2K gold up, and it's looking like this dragon might be theirs as well.
Just like that.
Man, I love it when it switches up.
2 fights, that's it.
That's
Yeah,
all they
honestly,
needed.
like
It
3
looking like
fights.
another kill might be end up secured as the flash goes in. Not enough. B-Sin barely getting away with the life. I'm sorry you had to use your flash there, Beard, but at least you were able to get him away. Ooh, that was so close to being Reaper's death. Reaper gonna have to back away, or at least utilize some of his spells to zone them away. Never mind, the Seraphine healing actually did a decent amount. Red team now slays the dragon, and they're able to get a little Ocean Drake, so a little regen for themselves, and we're looking like a cloud map this time around.
Really impressive though. Just staying the course, even though HYG's run around as a team, dictating it. Just able to find those cracks, get those advantages.
Oh, turret goes down. Ultimate used by Bonkers to try to get away from Reaper. Reaper definitely looking like right now, Reaper and Salt looking like 2 extremely strong members for the side of Goat Kings. As you can see, 4-1 and 3 on Reaper right now. To the 0-2 and 6 of the Orianna was already ahead in those items. Got the Merc Treads to try to negate a lot of that CC that you're seeing on the side of HYG. I really do like, if there's anything I do like about Reaper as a player, he likes to adapt very quickly, and he's always very vocal about what he's doing. So if if he's, especially when he's feeling it, like if he's feeling it, good luck. But right now, I don't know if he's really feeling it as he's having a flash over the wall. But with the vision on him, it's not going to be enough. Having to sacrifice his life, using the ultimate, trying to fight back. He actually gets it and gets away. The flash being used by TJ. He's trying to run away, shut down. Orianna being able to secure that kill for themselves. Don't know how without Leandri's. Maybe Luden's proc. I have no clue how they got the kill instead of TJ getting the kill.
I think the
He had to
turret
use his
shot
ultimate.
snuck in there.
Did it really? I did not see it on the spectator view. That's weird. I did not see that happen. So I thought that TJ would have actually ended up getting that kill. But Reaper, good fight there to at least get something out on your own death, and looking berserk going in, trying to chase down TJ. Deity, Vampire versus the Bear. Who's gonna end up winning? We're actually not too focused on that right now, as we see the Seraphine ultimate used and the Maokai ultimate used, trying to lock down B-Sin, but it's not gonna be enough. He's just too tanky with that ultimate, and this is what I was worried about from before. Not having enough tankiness on your team, and they're just gonna be able to run you down. And with the Orianna speeding them up, them getting sped up, and just having so much CC, that's 2 kills going over to HYG, as Bonkers is able to actually secure those, get 2 for himself, get 1 for himself in that fight, and 1 from the previous fight, and another one, I believe, going over to Smoothie. So it's looking like right now another kill actually might be going over, even though he jumps over. Reaper getting able to kill Smoothie under the turret, ultimate being used and missing, but Deity getting another kill as he goes in, and it's looking like they just managed to turn this whole fight around as he jumps in, literally pulverizes him into the ground. Goat King Salt going on to a killing spree. 7-2-4 for Ziggs, 3-1-3 for Salt, and they're looking like they're trying to get this Wolf Tarot for themselves before the Baron's ready to spawn in 3 minutes. I really like how they were able to turn that around. It looks like HYG was really about to put some like pep in the step in that moment, but then all of a sudden they completely turned it around. As I kind of caster cursed it, it was like, hey, they don't have any tanks, so the tanks are gonna kind of run them down, and next thing you know, complete turnaround of that fight. So this is looking just getting much more interesting, and definitely a lot more even. Don't know why Samurai went in there, but now you're locked up and you're held down, but not anymore. As you're able to get away, your team able to save you there. Good snare down from the Seraphine.
Rift Herald on top
man.
takes another turret.
Honestly, even with it being like about a 3k gold or 4k gold deficit, it still feels extremely even. Like both these teams don't feel completely behind because of where the itemization is currently at. Like Jinx has a decent itemization right now, even though she's kind of fallen off from when she was originally in that like big spot of being like 2-0-2, but now it's still like, oh, you see the Ziggs is really fed, but then you still have a decently fed Volibear. And now, even though you see that like Briar's a little bit behind, you do know that the Jinx still has a little bit ahead on the Seraphine, and then you have a hyper carry in Jinx where they can get to the late game a little bit more. They kind of have that insurance policy, and they still have that team fight, that little like team fight ticket that they have with the Orianna and the multiple engage units. So HYG, even though they know that they're behind at this current moment, I don't think they're afraid. I don't think they have anything to fear at this current moment, because one really big team fight where they're able to either blow up or at least be able to eliminate the carries fairly quickly. I don't think that Goat Kings will be able to completely survive a fight if that ends up happening, if they just have something that completely catches them off guard. So right now, I think that as long as they're keeping their mental up, I think HYG is still playing to their strong suit.
Yeah, they're definitely still in a good spot. I think they're a little late to this rotate onto Dragon. Not in position to get their vision down first, so they're going to be reactive here. But yeah, they're definitely not out of it, and they definitely should have some confidence that they can fight this still. They just need to make sure they, like we talked about in the pregame, hit the right targets. Don't get hit
Right
with
now.
the Seraphine.
Right now, the best engage is looking like B-Sin, as he's the only one with flash up, flash pulverize, but the ultimate was already used as he tried to jump in on the Goat King Reaper, but the Seraphine ultimate landing on the 2 as they try to go in, and this is a big old fight as Goat King Beard is able to secure a kill for himself, and Goat Kings looking like the best team around as they're able to eliminate everybody but the 80 carry, almost a full-on team wipe for absolutely nothing. We see a big old fight here, and I'm thinking it's not only going to be just this objective here, the Dragon, but I think it's an immediate rotation right over to Baron. Jeez, that was an absolutely insane fight. Objective bounties now going up, and it's looking like HYG now. That's where they're like, uh-oh, what did we do? How did we mess that up? And I'm going to say it, I think it was where Bonkers ended up utilizing the ultimate a little too early, saw that they can get Reaper, but I don't think B-Sin was immediately ready to jump in on that engage, and that just kind of ended up making them lose it. Even with the spawns being here and they're all trying to jump in, TP coming in from Smoothie, so you already have 3 members here at the Baron, as the Baron is right now sitting at about 5k health. B-Sin trying to go in, but Salt keeping them off as Deity continues to focus down the Baron. B-Sin gonna end up getting eliminated by Goat King Reaper as he goes on a rampage, as Deity jumps on and the Baron is still being ticked down. I think they're gonna disengage from the Baron and go for the fight. As they are able to disengage off of it, they feel like they can't do it anymore. They rather just go for the kills, as Deity's going berserk, jumps in on the TJ having to flash away as Smoothie's using the slice and dice to get him away, but Deity's still going on berserk mode as he's stunned and tries to get away. They're not gonna be able to chase down anymore. Extremely low health bars as we see here from the side of HYG. Goat King showing some serious strength here, even though they were able to stop the Baron, which was probably the best objective, and I'm sure they were hoping to just be able to steal it off a low health smite or something. HYG, good job stopping the Baron there, but right now Goat King's showing some serious power.
Yeah, HYG just not having the vision and the coordination on that dragon fight really turned it. They were spread out, slow coming in together. You know, the mistiming of the Orianna, not putting it on the engage to go in. Just not being on the same page, and then because you see when Goat Kings decided okay, you're gonna fight, and they all went in, they blew everything at once, and the Wombo combo landed and just deleted HYG.
I think it's really funny because it's like it was more like a hidden Wombo combo from the side of Goat Kings. Like, it wasn't immediately seen what they could do, but they kind of almost have like the similar comp. Like, now that you see like how they're executing their comp, they almost have a similar comp in the vein of what HYG is doing. HYG though is just a lot more front and center, direct in your face, where it's like Goat Kings, it's more like of a surprise where you could literally from Fog of War get tagged by a Maokai ultimate, and all of a sudden now you're being literally Brock Lesnar'd by Goat King Salt with on the set here. And if they land on one of your carries, either they get on Bonkers or they get on Marbra, or even if they, you know, take a big old tanky Foley Bear and jumps into the middle of your team with it, they still have the same kind of bane of a type of composition, because then Reaper just jumps a giant bomb in the middle of your team and boom, they have the big team fight ultimate there. They have a lot of team fight ultimates in general. It's I didn't see it at first during the champ select, but now like seeing how it's actually being executed through this game, now I see where Goat Kings are like, yeah, we had the same exact comp right here as them, but we just have a lot more avenues for these different buttons, where the one avenue that they have really is just like, oh, we just need Bonkers to be really good with these Orianna ultimates. And I'm not sure if they knew, but the Baron is being done right now. Never mind, ping's being said by the side of HYG. They know that they're on this Baron, but are they going to be able to get to it? Looks like TJ is looking to try to get behind it, as it's right now sitting at about 6k, and I'm not sure, but this might have been the mistake. Maybe going for this Baron is not a good idea. 3k, just under 4k, just under 3k, sitting at about just under 2k, 1k, gonna be able to sit down. Red team slayed the Baron, and now we're in for the middle of a fight. Renekton and Volibear immediately going down, and Goat Kings being able to secure the Baron for themselves. Now, Deity being able to jump right onto the Alistar, using the ultimate, and now going berserk, having to tag him down. Goat King Beer gonna be able to secure a kill for himself as B-Sin goes down 3-0, as Goat Kings is now gonna start barreling down the mid lane with this Baron buff. They're looking really strong right now, sitting at just over 9k for the, just under 9k for this gold lead, and I think they're gonna end up being able to crack open this base. Only right now the two carries, the mid and ADC, alive for HYG, and I don't think they're gonna be able to really stop a full 5-man team barreling down, and this is definitely gonna be an inhib for them.
Yeah, inhib, reset, come back for drag.
Oh, it looks like some of them are gonna try to rotate towards bottom side, and I guess probably get that bot lane turret if they have the ability to do so. I wouldn't be surprised if Reaper ends up going down that end, which, yep, he does end up doing that. So, and he probably could help eliminate that turret extremely quickly with the satchel charge as well. So I don't think, oh, he doesn't have it, not just yet. Oh yeah, he's gonna, he could probably, yeah, just a little too healthy. It was very close. If he got like 1 or 2 more hits on it, probably. But at this point, actually, this is very interesting. So HYG is actually on to the dragon first. This time they're not having to react to Goat Kings being on it. They're able to get some early vision, but I guess they just turned from it. Okay, so I guess they're just gonna end up giving this up.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess they're not really too worried about a Cloud Drake. But yeah, they want to try to take that pressure off themselves, especially with knowing that their mid lane has already been cracked open, and that's very easy for Goat Kings to just keep barreling down. Jinx ultimate going to be used, but not going to be enough to try to steal that Drake. Well, just a little too late at that point. But right now, HYG just trying to farm up, trying to get themselves a little bit more back into this game. Smoothie now having to back away, can't really fight Salt even with his support there. It's a top versus support and ADC. Oh, actually, no. Bot lane looking like the next objective here for the side of Goat Kings as they're going to try to take this turret. And blue team's turret now being destroyed. HYG now being pressed against the wall as the Baron Dub minions are being pushed right into their base. There's no split pusher on this side. All 5 are actually down here at this bot side, so it's looking like they're willing to just try to go for the team fight instead of allowing Salt to push. But that's probably smart, especially with no TP on their side, but 2 TPs from the side of HYG. They can have their mid laner or their top laner join at any point in time and keep the waves out of their base. But these Baroned up minions, it's going to be kind of hard to stop them, especially when you do have super minions in the mid lane. Another turret going down, that Satchel Charge doing so much damage to these turrets. They can't really stop this. As the ultimate is used, Shield going to have to shield them up and be able to save them. Jinx ultimate being used to try to get them off of the inhib, but that's another inhib going down as HYG now being able to push them out of their base. But it's more looking like just a reset from the side of Goat Kings as they have a little bit of Baron buff left. Oh, they actually just died for them all. And after all of that, yeah, go up, push top, and now they're just doing a standard rotation, sitting at just about 10k up. This was not what I was expecting for the team to kind of like... I didn't expect these teams to like go this way. I wasn't expecting like a complete actual... Someone else called it earlier, but I wasn't expecting it to snowball in this kind of sense, where it, again, like HYG, as I called out, was just looking extremely strong in the way that they had their comp set up. You could tell exactly what they wanted to do. But again, as you start to watch and see Goat King scale into their champions, now we're seeing like, oh, their team comp actually had the same exact type of idea in mind, but it's just different in certain avenues where they have significantly more utility for their ultimates and everything like that. And right now with this turret being destroyed, that's going to be their inner turret in, and now Deity going in but being headbutted out. And it's not going to be enough as a big team fight ultimate coming out from the Seraphine, going to be able to lock up beats in as Goat King Salt goes unstoppable. The Orianna ulti being used but not going to be enough to stop him as TJ walks away, but not going to be enough as the Leandres ends up taking his life. Goat King Reaper going to be unstoppable as a double kill goes over to Deity as he pushes him in and out. Smoothie getting absolutely dumpstered right now by his ex-team. I know right now it's looking bittersweet for you. I'm sorry that this had to happen, but right now they're pushing into your base and they're looking to try to end this game as once again going berserk. I don't think you want to chase them down under their fountain there, Deity, but right now looking like a great first game of the season for Goat Kings as they take that victory. Oh man, that was great. That was a lot of fun. I'm curious about your thoughts about this game because
I feel like HYG came in with a really good plan. You know, had a really good like script of this is what we want to do at this time to start the game, and then the wheels kind of started coming off, and some of the gold started sliding back over to Goat Kings, and then they just spooled up and just took off and just took control of the game and said, no, this is our game now. Um, it's just really impressive. I mean, look at the damage from the Ziggs there, and then there's the top side. But I think what we really need to see here is some of these CC scores. 28, 46. No, actually pretty good from the rest of the team too. But some couple big Seraphine ults there in some of those fights. Just not being able to control your own champion for a couple seconds in the middle of a fight is really detrimental, unless you're Briar, who's designed to do that. But yeah, it was a really good showing. There a lot of promise showing there from HYG in the beginning. Just I want to see if they can continue to piece it together, keep their plan going, that early game pressure, adapt a little bit and understand what the other team's comp was trying to do. Because I think that their comp is going to be really hard to execute into a Seraphine, into a Maokai, things that can just stop, the engage in their tracks. There was just not enough follow up for some of the beef that they had.
and I wouldn't definitely say they probably had some like I wonder, like, kind of. This is always something I'm always curious about whenever it comes to these games. Like, what was the comms like, and like, who, like, during the times when like Goat Kings were kind of behind, and you could kind of see where HYG was attempting to snowball the game, especially when they knew they had the advantage with like Jinx getting the 2 kills immediately and already being ahead, and them getting first blood and all this stuff. I'm sure like somebody had to be in Goat King's chat going, all right, so this is what we're gonna have to do to get back, like to keep ourselves back in this game. And even as they started to fall further behind, they were still like, okay, but we can still keep doing this. Um, and again, it wasn't like anything was like they were completely losing, as we saw, as we can tell, like Salt was winning the top lane for considerably for the majority of the time, if not the whole game. So it was just something that they play like that where their top side generally like even if bot side's not doing the absolute greatest, it doesn't matter because they generally have the top side to kind of really press forward and do the things that they need to do. And I'm sure, like as we saw, like a lot of the mid lane jungle synergy from the side of Goat Kings definitely made a big difference for them.
Definitely.
So that,
This again, this first game of the season for both these teams. I think there's a lot to gain or to learn and adapt. Everybody feels good. Everybody has a plan to get punched in the mouth, and it's all about how you respond now. So I think Go
sure.
Kings got to do that adapting in the middle of the first game, and HYG. Let's see what their comeback plan is. I want to see if they're going to take red side, try to give Smoothie the advantage this time against Salt to get that counter pick, so they can play a little bit more through top side.
Honestly, if that's the case, like the way they were playing, it's still like it was weird that they had Smoothie like I'm sure like TJ obviously came up there when he was able to, or he saw the advantage to try to get something on Salt up top side. But for the most part, it was just like, all right, let's leave Smoothie to like his own business up there. And like that's generally kind of like the player that I've noticed like he kind of is. It's just like if you leave him to his top side, like he'll be just fine. But I think at this point, it's more of something like let's try to like this time like if they're gonna leave him up top side like that, then give him something that he can be on that weak side with. If you don't want to like if
Yeah,
you want to try to focus more on like this time you saw like okay Reaper was a big deal this game, we need to try to focus more on mitigating this mid laner. Then you if you want to give more focus to mid lane, then you need to give Smoothie something that he could be more proficient on. The bot lane I don't think was necessarily any issue at all. Both bot lanes were actually considerably even, and I want to say that it didn't like show like at least in the laning phase it was extremely even, so I don't think either one of the junglers were too worried about their bot sides. So it's really going to come down to like who has the better mid jungle, and right now it's showing Goat Kings is the better mid jungle at the current moment. um and so if they can try to really mitigate that mid jungle synergy from Goat Kings, I think they can really be able to win this game, this next upcoming one. So
yeah, no, I definitely what you're saying, and especially with that last comp, DD was definitely going to play around top and mid. You know, top side strong, uh, kind of meta idea. So just that's where I was kind of saying you need to help Smoothie out there, or at least be there for when Deity ganks, just kind of mirror shadow a little bit more, just prevent some of those ganks there. But yep, I
so
definitely agree with you that they need to make sure they get bonkers going. Maybe put him on something with a little more agency, something he could stand up to the poke a little bit more.
honestly, I didn't mind the Oriana. I think if they're gonna do a comp like that, they just need another pick with a little bit more versatility, or something that could at least help with like far range engage. So if I'm personally thinking, I think the comp that they had was perfectly fine. They can literally slot almost any other AD carry into that slot, which they can do like a stronger AD carry. Like if they want to do something like a Misfortune or a Kaisa, I think that would definitely still fit very well into the team comp that they have currently. Um, but then I would say maybe put Smoothie on like an Ornn up top side to allow for a much farther range engage and to give you guys a little bit more tanky utility. And it again still gives you that. same composition with the Oriana ball that you would still be able to use, but also giving you potential advantage in the late game where Ornn items start to come in after level 13. Uh,
Gotcha. What do
so
you think about Ash instead of the Jinx last game?
I would have actually liked to see an Ash. I think it would have allowed for more picks. Because there was times where it's like if Reaper wasn't able to get the satchel charge off, he would have definitely died like 4 or 5 times over. There was multiple times where he's getting away with slivers of HP, and it's because they weren't able to hold him down long enough.
Yeah, like
So
an Ash, a little more utility there to get that run down, or or hit that CC to get the pick. I think that would have been a good compliment. I know they really were looking for a strong carry out of that lane, but I think with the the ball, the rolling ball of knives, the mass that they were trying to throw at the other team, I think some more support from something like that for just providing slows or the hard CC of the stun arrow. I think that would have been a good compliment for that.
I don't think HYG should be discouraged at all from
Oh,
that first
absolutely not.
game. It's just something that like your composition kind of got figured out by Goat Kings. That's all it was. They just kind of saw where the one direction of your composition goes, and because of that, they were able to kind of be like, okay, we can take this away from them. If you guys give yourselves a little bit more avenues. So again, I think I'm impartial to MF just because I played her a lot last season, but I still do like the fact that like having additional either far range slows or stuns or knockups would definitely make for a better composition where they can hold them down a little bit longer and be able to really get those extra maybe 1 or 2 autos that might have secured a kill, or be able to get that extra spell that might be able to get an extra Luden's proc or something like that. Again, Reaper definitely showed that he was the carry that game, and it would have been multiple times where they were just able to get him. That could have really swayed a lot of different team fights. So I think at this point it's just look for one more potential like utility for HYG, whether it be an Ash, whether it be an Ornn, um, or even something or if you really need Bonkers to not play the Oriana, get him on something that he can have a lot more agency in that mid lane where he can push lanes out, be able to rotate with jungler, make sure that either bot or top is able to get themselves into a better spot, and maybe potentially get the carries from either ends of the map to do what they need to do.
Yeah, I gotcha. Working with the teams real quick. See if we get a spectator link.
Yep, waiting on it.
Thank you, Salt. HYG is on red side. They are team 2.
All right, so it looks like they're gonna try to probably attempt to get that counter pick for Smoothie this time around. Which again, that's something that was a thought that was played around with, and hence why we see them do picking red side. First ban here is going to be the Ezreal, which I'm not sure if that's really a worth it ban if they're going to try to like kind of run back the same comp as last time, which again, as we already explained, good comp, it actually works. They just need a little bit more utility.
We
So I think like yeah, you're taking away like pocket picks, but I don't think those like having a Kaisa might give them a little bit more power, but I don't think it fixes the problem of what the last comp was. And then giving them an Ezreal gives them like more far range damage, more poke, but it doesn't again give them much else.
I still expect to
And
see the Pantheon ban here. We do have an update for HYG. Beeson and Marbra have switched. Beeson is now the 80 carry. Marbra is now the support.
Okay. And as we can see, the Seraphine ban and the Ziggs ban on the side of HYG, with also the Kane ban, and this time a Jax ban being done from Goat Kings, which is going to allow them to be able to pick the Pantheon up top side immediately for Salt. So this is looking pretty interesting. I
I,
I'm really Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I fully expected that Pantheon to be first pick. I know they can take it at least 2 different positions, if not 3, as a very flexible pick for that team. They really like
And
that.
yeah, no, but again, Salt has I've seen his pantheon in houses. I've seen his pantheon just randomly, like if he streams and happens to be in like the general chat. I and it's just something I'm personally afraid of. I don't want to ever go up against that thing. But again, with Goat Kings, it's like extremely hard team to ban out. Oh no, not no. If that's Smoothie on side. Oh, okay, wait a second. This time it won't be like
It
how it happened in this one in-house that we had. But uh, if anything, I've seen Smoothie on Scion before, and if you allow him to get to a certain point, it's scary.
well, but if that's the pick for top lane in yeah, countering the Pantheon, that's a mistake to assume that Pantheon's going top. Because now you
Pantheon
get
is it's a
set.
three-way flex,
But
yeah.
set could also be flex, but Salt known for that. I'm sure he's licking his lips as soon as he saw the Scion. I mean, they could still go. HYG could still go Rel Jungle Scion support, so they could still get themselves out of it. But they've kind of locked themselves in. They left the
With
Anivia up for Go King Reaper.
and
Uh,
Beard actually, don't be surprised if Beard
it's
decides to take a
true.
mage bot lane sometimes.
It is true, but I have a hard time seeing Reaper giving up the bird.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's a and that's another pick for him. Like you took away the Ziggs. Well, here's the Anivia, and oh wow, this Rumble.
So maybe it's
Oh,
Rumble top. Maybe we're flexing all the picks right now. Both teams just trying to call each other's bluff, maybe.
this okay. So this is the thing. If you're a team that doesn't normally flex a lot versus a team that does generally like to flex, I'm already kind of scared for you in Champ Select because you start to you can start to muddy up your composition way too much when you try to pick too many flexes into one straight like composition
Yep.
where right now Goat Kings like these three champions that they have it's still it's like overall you know for a fact that like these three champions can go like Pantheon support, set top, mid Anivia. Like and we already know that those three will immediately work for all three of these particular players where it's like I don't know how Rel Scion Rumble really works for the other team.
Yeah, when you
And
you start trying to counter the matchups, you kind of lose your team identity of what you're trying to do. Um, Sivir, so they are trying to go with the gap close with this team. Um, I mean, it could still be a Rumble mid into the Anivia with the Psy on top. They want to keep that. Otherwise, yeah, it's this is gonna be really interesting. Mind games of galore.
I'm a Sivir lover, and it's very interesting. I'm kind of curious as to oh I knew
Swain
it.
ADC baby.
I knew a mage going in the bot lane was potentially going to end up happening, but I was not expecting the Swain. But with the way their damage composition is set up, it's extremely even between AD and AP, and I don't think that they're necessarily concerned about needing that like AD carry presence. Even though if Sivir gets to a certain point where she starts just having ricochet blades going over and over and over again, that might hurt. But to counter that gap close, they decided to go with the Taric, who's like a extremely good anti-engage support. So they, oh man, that's actually I'm liking Goat King's composition right now because they just have a very clear like what they want to do and support Silas for Marbra.
That would be
Would that be?
interesting because Beard definitely likes that as support. But I don't know. I think I might be putting the Scion at support there. Maybe put the Rumble top and the Silas mid.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words. Like I don't know how anyone else feels, but I'm personally at a loss for words because this is the weirdest of comps I've seen. Like I cannot tell you where anybody anywhere is actually going. Like for all I know, it could be Rumble in the jungle, Rel support, Silas mid. You see what I mean? Like it just it can go almost all over the place. And but
They might
I
still be
think
flexing. They might still be talking about it. Hopefully they have a plan.
Silas support. If that is Silas support, I'm gonna have a fun time because I've been on the teammate end of that with the Silas support, and that's a lot of fun, especially with the different ultimates. Like you got the Scion ultimate, you have the actually yeah, that's or not the Scion, but you're gonna end up having a decent amount of ultimate. Swain ultimate to steal. You're gonna end up having Set ultimate you can steal. Pantheon ult you could steal. Okay, so actually, if it is Silas support and he's roaming around, he's able to steal certain
The weak
ultimates from different
fear the
places and lanes
shadows.
that he is able
Fear
to roam and
controls.
gank to. This is actually going to be very interesting, but it's still again, it seemed like it was a bunch of like, hey, we can counter this, we can counter this, we can counter this with this, we can counter this with this. Might have been what was going on in the HYG chat. It's kind of what I'm imagining, and so that's where I'm like, all right, we kind of see where where their team kind of wants to go with like these reflex picks and soup like just pick everything, you know. But I don't know. It's just weird. Um, I'm just a little bit at a loss for words. For at least their comp, but again, it could prove like with these really weird compositions, it could probably be like, hey, this might be something you end up seeing, and it's Silas Jungle actually. Unless they're just gonna wait. Yeah, Pantheon jungle was set. Oh, it's set top. Okay, now we're seeing how the compositions are starting to pan out. And it's Blitz and Malco that are casting tonight. Tack Alley. Zion mid. Okay.
Fine. I don't need more enemies.
Shall I turn in my badge and rifle as well?
Either way.
Fine. I'll just be over here, sharpening my feathers.
Alrighty. So, my personal opinion, the only main difference that's gonna make a big deal for both these teams. And I feel that this is something, even though I think we're starting to get away from this again, having the traditional 80 carry in the bot lane, I think we're starting to gear back towards like people bringing back the mages into the bot lane. And I do like that it gives a little bit more versatility for teams, especially if there's some people who might be like supports that are now switching back over to 80 carry and they played a lot of these mages in that role, so they kind of already know how the champions work. Now it's just a matter of just adding the farming part of the composition to it. Aside from that, like I won't be surprised if some people are like, oh, I play a lot of Vladimir mid, but now I'm playing AD, let me go ahead and start playing Vlad or something. We're gonna start seeing a lot of those, I feel, this particular season. I think Beard wants to set that precedent first. Swain is going to be a really fun champion to play alongside a Tark. So they have a lot of CC and a lot of sustain down in that bot lane. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see how this is going to be. I think they're going to be fighting a lot more bot side, so I wouldn't be surprised if Deity's actually more geared towards there. With that said, we're going right into the spectator delay. If you guys want to start, I'm not sure if we get the poll up, but if you guys want to start spamming in the chat, who's going to win this, whether it's going to be HYG being able to go 1-1 and we're going to be end up seeing a game 3 here, or is Goat Kings going to be able to utilize this very interesting composition to be able to close it out? Oh, there we go. Polls up. So who's gonna end up winning game 2? Is it gonna be HYG or is it gonna be Goat Kings closing it out? Tack Alley, you're saying DD's Pantheon is scary. It's funny. I played with him last season. I don't think he ever played Pantheon with us at any point. So I'm actually going to be I'm very excited to see this and see what he does here because even that last game, it's like that was my first ever Briar game that I've seen like full on like played in like this competitive sense, but also casted. So that was actually very interesting to see how that turned around from him, like from that first game, how he was starting out and then it just immediately turned for him. So if anything, if he's playing the way he's playing, dude is all over the map. Bet. I like that. I mean, that's just generally how he plays. He likes to be everywhere if he can. Got to watch out for players like that who have a big macro sense, especially if they're playing in the jungle. I bet 420 Samurai kicks, but I listen, man. You don't know that Maokai was a big surprise from the last game, and it definitely showed promise. And like Maokai is definitely a champion loved by the Goat Kings.
Least the beast. If you think he's gonna kick points, put some channel points on there. And we got anybody who thinks HYG is gonna take it? We had 1 vote, 10 points.
Come on, guys, come on, show some faith.
That's a big win. If HYG wins, there's a lot of points coming your way for very little.
And once again, guys, don't forget as we load into game, if you want to be able to either avoid the ads or you just want to be able to support the league, don't be afraid to either sub or use your Prime sub with us here at Valhalla Esports and guarantee yourself not only ad-free viewing experiences, but also our guaranteed love for 30 days. If you guys are very so generous, by all means, go ahead and sub to Valhalla Esports. And with that said, we have about, I want to say, maybe another minute on the voting here. If we get into game while the voting is still going on, maybe we'll get a really crazy, exciting level 1 this time around. And then maybe somebody can be like, oh, I want to vote for these guys now after seeing that level 1. That would be very interesting if that happens. But for the most part, I'm excited. I want to see if Go Kings can close this out. Again, it's a very interesting comp. They're deciding to once again forego the traditional 80 carry and utilizing their champion comfortability to be able to get this win. And I'm just excited. So, and again, like it's actually TJ on the Silas this time around instead of Marbra, which I was kind of maybe expecting a Silas support potentially, especially since Marbra does love that champion. But since that is not currently happening, instead it's looking like once again we might be getting potential 5-point, even though there are pings coming out from the red side to look out on those ends, as we do see lines of scrimmage being set up by both teams. Once again, they're being safe, and Beard doing the standard thing that he does, always warding that bot side tri-bush, so there's no cheeky entries happening within the first minute. And I like these item starts. The cull start from the Sivir is a very standard thing for them. I do like that just for the fact that Sivir is expected to just farm a lot and then just come out of nowhere and just WWW everything. So I'm probably expecting a static Navori, which is very standard for her. And then maybe they're trying to prove that the standard 80 carry is still something to utilize in this role. Mages is not going to take over. So Beeson, I hope you can show that to us. A lot of pings coming out to be careful for some reason, but Not sure why. I'm very curious how the mid lane's going to play when you got a Nivea constantly being able to poke out this Scion. Bonkers. Hopefully you can show us how this Scion mid matchup is going to go. Once again, both teams starting out exactly the same as last game, where both junglers are starting on their bot sides respectively, and then gonna look like they're pathing their way. This time, I think Deity is choosing to go for a red side clear, probably gonna try to do something and then roam up either to mid or bot, depending on what is looking like the most optimal place to gank and or go for. But right now, I think he's just gonna leave Salt to his own devices up top side, especially since he was able to secure that set. And already we see a little engage come from Marba, but the stun being landed by Samurai, but a lot of damage landed onto Beard and also being landed on the Samurai. The Sivir already showing some promise as they hit level 2 first, which allows them to get a lot of damage, bringing both of the champions down from the side of Goat Kings to just for Tarik being almost down to a quarter health and just under half health, or just over half health for Goat King Beard. So definitely showing some early game promise, but you can't expect a lot of damage coming out from these just strictly the Swain overall. I'm not going to be surprised if the Sivir is out damaging for this beginning of the early game. She's out damaging the Swain a lot.
Right click on an AD carry is stronger than one spell.
Exactly. Definitely BSEN showing like they're comfortable, not afraid, which again you should be, especially if all you got to do is auto, landing the stun onto Rel, but now getting some good damage with that boomerang blade. Once she's able to once she gets items, that's actually gonna hurt a lot. So they definitely need to make sure they mitigate that damage, because if Rel is able to just lock it down for even a moment, getting the armor piercing onto any of them, that's gonna end up being a quick kill going over to Sivir. And if Sivir is able to get ahead, ramped up early, that's not gonna be fun. But right now, Salt just trying to jump right on as we see Pantheon jumping in. But don't forget, TJ is also here. Having to use the speed boost, flash stun being used by Deity, but he doesn't know that TJ is also here. TJ now being able to engage, chains landing on a Deity as the flame spitter is going down. First blood going over Deity, flash having to be used, but the kill being returned over to Gold King Salt as Ignite is dropped down onto Samurai as he's trying to run away. So being able to trade back a kill as his jungler goes down after them also taking down the enemy jungler, themselves. So that's going to be a very interesting even matchup, as both 1-0 for the top laners and then 1-1 for both junglers. Another small engage right there, being able to pull in top lane, just getting some damage down. Once again, with him being on this set, he's not afraid at all. Deity now here for the repeat gank, knowing that the flash is down, smoothly trying to use the getaway, shield and speed boost, really close to his turret, so they might not be able to do anything here. But being able to pull him back in with the face breaker was taking too much turret damage. They're not going to be able to really gank him down. So now smoothly being able to get away under his turret, but ever so barely. And little fight in the bot side, not gonna really see anything except a low health Tarik who's gonna be forced to back, but probably a good moment to back for him as he doesn't really have any other resources here. But that's just a rotation for HYG right over to the first Drake of the game, being a Chemtech Drake. And that's red team now once again securing the first Drake of the game. It's looking like it's something that we're seeing here is like standard. Let's go ahead and try to make something happen topside. When we make something happen topside, we're able to then rotate towards the bot end and get something for bot. That's kind of like what we're seeing for HYG here at the current moment. But as we also see some stuff landing down onto the Scion, getting him to decently low health. TJ, though, being able to sweep, no ward over there. So right now he's kind of hanging here, hoping that the Anivia extends. The Anivia now being able to land a stun. Unfortunately, extending now, dropping the chains, being able to land, flash, use, wall being able to use to try to deflect, but not going to be enough, as now going into egg form. Deity trying to rotate, trying to save his mid laner, but they didn't know that he was there. Turret shot being landed on the TJ, as TJ's now going to have to dash away. That egg being able to save Reaper's life, and now that he's out of that egg form, he's gonna have to play a lot more careful. But Deity being able to rotate definitely saved him, and now we have the ultimate being used by Goat King Salt with the pulverize and everything, but it's not gonna be enough, or Facebreaker, and it's not gonna be enough to be able to take him down, but it's definitely gonna be some damage. You're not gonna want to have to fight him here. This time going for the teleport instead of the ignite, so he doesn't have as much fighting pressure here in this top side, but I think he wants to be a little bit more present for his team this time around. And I think that's what he's thinking. So once those teleports are unleashed, expect a lot of fights coming in as he's able to land that, but the spell shield is able to go ahead and deflect as the bot side is going ahead and getting a fight going. As we see, as you said before, auto attacks mean a lot more than just one spell, as the Sivir was able to deflect a lot with her spell shield, and she's able to keep on attacking. We see a lot more damage coming out of here from the Sivir and the Rel in this bot side, instead of what Goat Kings are able to do with the Swain and Taric. Still a really good composition from the side of Goat Kings, but right now, for what it is, the traditional AD carry is showing that they're the ones that you need to be afraid of in this early game. You can't really out damage them if you're on a mage. And I can see that they're trying to press this advantage. They're trying to get something here, but I don't think they know that the Anivia has rotated down towards bot side. Even though they have this warded now, Anivia gonna try to do something as the spell shield comes out from Sivir to be able to get away from the Swain W, not gonna be able to slow them down. Anivia trying to utilize that timer to get to bot side and try to make something happen, but with that being negated, now having to roam all the way back up there, Bonkers is able to get a turret plate down for himself and back off safely. So even though the game is extremely even, good job by HYG to keep themselves in a very good lane state as the Hex Flash is used, but not going to be able to initiate anything as Goat Kings is very safely under their bot side turret. And right now, as the action continues, we see an immediate gank going on, and Goat King Reaper is going to go down as the ultimates are used, but the ultimate being used now by Pantheon to be able to go immediately into the mid lane. Not going to be there in time and not going to be able to trade back any kills. With Reaper going down, that's a kill going over to Bonkers. And again, he has to play a lot safer. He doesn't have that egg form. He's not being able to get that second chance of potential life. So for what it is, I think we're at a weird point now where, again, we're seeing HYG utilizing that early game, and they're trying to make themselves stay ahead. And right now, both ultimates being used by the supports, and the ultimate also being used by the Goat Kings overall. Gonna be able to get those big those big cooldowns off of them and force them back, which now the Sivir can try to take full advantage of this and be able to get a little bit more farm and push this lane in and probably deny a little bit more from the Swain. Even though Swain is showing that they are slightly ahead currently, it's still gonna be a dangerous game trying to fight against the Sivir, especially if you have cooldowns and she just has autos. But aside from that, Goat King's still very much in this game. Yeah, attack alley. This is game 2, and right now it's looking like a lot of people are predicting for a big Goat Kings win. But we'll have to just see. Right now, HYG is showing their early game prowess, and that the early game really matters. And once again, they tried to attempt a gank here from Goat Kings, not being able to make anything work for them, as Bonkers was just able to get away. But Goat King Salt definitely showing some insane advantage up in this top side, about a 50 farm deficit almost, versus the two top laners right now. So He's just going to go ahead and back off here. 4 minutes until the Unleashed teleports come through, but they're trying to rotate to this Drake, and I don't think they want to give a second up as the stun lands from Samurai, but a big knockup going on to Samurai from Bonkers as the TP comes down, and it's now actually fully unleashed. He's able to actually go straight for it. I didn't realize that was a change as TJ's able to secure this kill onto Samurai. Bonkers, once again, not just Bonkers, but the entire team was trying to show that they have early game prowess, but another kill going right over to Pantheon after that, being able to get secure. Go King Beard now with his ultimate securing a kill onto Marbra. Big kills going over everywhere as Deity negating the damage, trying to jump onto Bonkers, but Bonkers is going to be able to negate that, but Deity getting that big damage with the Q, but also losing his life to Smoothie in the end there. But now the resurrection coming out as B-Sin gets a kill for themselves after killing Anivia, but now Go King Beard is all alone as it's a 2v1. Is he able to get a kill? Yes, he will be as he takes down Roman, but it's a double kill going right over to Sivir. Big old fight as it's an even fight overall. No one either gets the Drake as well because of that fight that ended up happening there. Now both teams have to just back away, but HYG still being able to hold on to an advantage as they sit at just about 1.2k gold up, and that's looking like just mostly from turret plates right now is what that advantage is, and also some farm differences, like the mid lane having about almost a 20 farm difference, but aside from that, not much else. And then kill differences too, because the Sivir is sitting at 2-0-2, and TP comes in, but not gonna be enough.
Yeah, that last fight, I feel like King Beard was looking to disengage there, and so was the Anivia looking to kind of back off, and the Pantheon kept going in, so they decided they needed to follow up there. And that's what led to the extended fight instead of getting the trade that they wanted.
Yeah, because they were definitely in a position to take the win of the fight and then just go turn immediately to Drake. But I think they just saw that, like you said, they saw that kill, and it was like, you know, when you tunnel vision, sometimes that happens, and this happens with teams as we see the engage, but that big ultimate landing by the Rel, being able to secure them all in, but not a whole lot of damage coming down as the Tarek ultimate is going to be used and being killed just as the Tarek ultimate lands, but the Deity ultimate being used by both the Silas and by Deity, by Go King Beard himself, and that's not going to be enough as Deity's able to take down TJ. So now the stolen ultimate is no longer there, and Go King Beard going to be able to chase down B-Sin, not going to be able to keep him in that ultimate, so the ultimate is going to end up dying as Marbra is now in the middle of all of them, being able to get the kill as he surprises Reaper from over the wall. But then they're going to be able to get the revenge for their mid laner, as now Bonkers is all not actually alone, as there's Sivir there able to get some damage. The Boomerang Blade being able to take down, shut down, going over to the Sivir and killing the Pantheon as she cleanses away, and that's another kill as Bonkers is able to kill Beard there. Look at HYG being able to make something happen with these like the ends of these, or the back ends of these fights. I'm not sure if Goat Kings is kind of waiting for like Set to be able to do something, or for the Anivia to really be in that position of like how she kind of dictates like zones off in team fights and pokes. But right now it's looking like HYG was able to kind of capitalize on their early game advantages, and once again right now being on the good rotation, Soul's not going to be able to take on 3 people at once, especially when he's almost directly under their turret. TJ being able to take that kill as Salt goes down. All 3 of them being up there now. Goat Kings are definitely going to have to look for something else to do, as Bonkers is right now sitting bot side against the 2 laners, but with this very, very tanky Scion, it's going to take a while for them to even be able to kill him. So I don't think they want to really attempt to fight this, as he's going to be really hard to be able to kill for him. Even with these stuns landing, it's looking like he's going to chase down Samurai. Samurai, you got to run away, man. There's no way you're going to be able to get away from him unless, all right, so he doesn't end up getting that knockup, but now B-Sin is here to help try to run this tower down. I think now we're at the point where HYG is looking to really press forward in this game.
Yeah, no Leandries yet on the Swain. Scion does not care about getting hit right now.
Nope, and with the Sunfire, even with just the Sunfire here, he does have the Merc Treads, so he does have a little bit more. Yeah, it's he's not worried about it at all. And right now, the once again is that mid chunk for the side of HYG that's showing that they're the teammates right now. So you got TJ, Bonkers, and B-Sin at this current moment, all really showing some really good promise in this game, sitting at 3.4k up. And again, he's not afraid. He doesn't have anything to worry about as they try to ghost in. Deity coming in, stun not being landed because the ultimate makes it so he can no longer be disabled. Scion are being used. Ultimates now also being used with flashes and so on. That was not a very fair trade for them, and that only allows the HYG members to do things elsewhere, as well as press their lead even more as they're sitting at about 4k up. Marbro having to flash over the wall. I think he could have just used the W there instead, but that would have, but getting away from Anivia, even though he did kind of have Sivir there to maybe make something, bait them in to make something happen. But not always having to go for every single potential fight or potential bait. They're just like, hey, let's just get you out of here, keep you alive for whatever fight comes up next. Even though objectives right now are, there's not really much to be sought after, even though Ocean Drake coming up in 1 minute. And okay, now we're seeing some items being built as we do see Anivia is now, both Anivia and Swain now have their Leandries, so they at least have that small power spike, which should help them with those tankier champions that they go up against. But not even knowing that TP, double TP, triple TP all coming in. Bot side about to be a entire fiesta as we see these engages. Ultimates being used everywhere as the Swain ultimate is stolen by Silas, and that's going to be a kill for him going on to Samurai as TJ is trying to get him down. Go King Soul going to barely be able to get away as many members of both sides being on low health, but Go King Reaper able to get a kill for himself. Shut down going over to Beard as well as he slows down another member in Bonkers. Sin not being there might have been the big factor as to why they might have ended up losing that fight, but that was a really big win that they needed there for the side of Goat Kings. So many ultimates being used, and when Silas steals the Swain ultimate, I can see what he's thinking, keep himself in the middle of the fight, keep himself healing, keep himself tanky, but it's the stolen versus the actual thing. And even though he managed to secure a kill onto the support, the other members were able to keep themselves alive, and that one fight ends up translating into this Ocean Drake for the side of Goat Kings right now. I don't think they have any means to chase, even though they're going to turn around. Bonkers using the ultimate to try to chase in, not hitting anybody, but going to be able to get the knock-up on the two members as Beard is going to sit there and take a lot of damage, but the shutdown going over to Deity as he dies, and Bonkers also gets him. That's a double kill, but Smoothie going to be able to trade it back as he's able to shut down Deity. This is another fight, but looking like HYG's actually going to be able to secure this Drake for themselves because they were able to, it was basically a leash done by Goat Kings as they pushed them off. Red team has slain the dragon, and they're going to be able to push away. Good securement. Even though they ended up losing two members and giving some shutdowns up, they still managed to secure that Drake for themselves and bring themselves one step closer to Soul. So even though that started out bad for HYG, really good way to keep their mental up and being able to play it out, and now they end up winning that fight and they secure themselves the Drake, which for this particular team is going to be very, very good, especially for someone like Scion who's going to want all that extra regen for themselves. And just in general, any champion loves regen, free stats. It's great. Such
a good dragon selection for this matchup. Both teams really want this.
I think it's going to get to a point like after this Rift Herald, just secure this turret and let yourself go down, if anything, if you can't get away, which he can't, and I'm sorry, but I don't think Deity had to use the ultimate there. That's actually going to be a trade 2 for 2. How quickly will the Baron be up? Not enough time maybe for them to go for Baron, but definitely a good one fight up there from the side of HYG. I guess they're just going to start setting up Baron. But by the time that's set up, both Salt and Deity will be up, and they will be able to rush it right over. And even with Sivir, I don't think they're going to have enough damage to get it done quickly right at 20 minutes. So I think pushing in the waves, taking turrets, and trying to just get pushed into the map more is the smart objective for them here, especially when they still have the advantage.
I know they don't want to push the Anivia over to the side lane, but I think at least they need to rotate the Taric up. And have Taric more involved in these fights. I think there's a lot of times we're seeing the advantage of having the Rel being able to roam on their own. We've seen Scion do a lot of the solo push bot lanes, so it's the 2-for-1 bot lanes creating a numbers advantage elsewhere on the map. Finally getting Set coming to answer the Scion.
And I think that's what sort of maybe happened a little bit sooner. I think it would have been better for Set to have rotated and started dealing with the Scion a little bit more. And then had, like you said, Tarek start roaming around, because Rel being all over the map right now is what's causing them to unfortunately lose a lot of these fights, because they're constantly at a numbers disadvantage. But now him being stopped, the ultimate being used by the Set, and Bonkers not knowing what to do. Set doing so much damage to him, being able to boost him in, but Deity's actually here, but so is TJ. TJ being able to take down Salt, and now with that much being done, I think there is no objective for them to take down this bot side. So it's just going to be a kill for them. And I think they're going to say that's worth it, since Salt was sent down to deal with Bonkers. And it ultimately ends up turning on their face, as the Tark ultimate is now stolen by TJ. TJ trying to use the chains to see if he can go under and dive this really low health turret. But now you have both the Swain and Tark here to back up Deity and on the Pantheon. So I don't think they're going to attempt this, even though they actually very much could, especially again with the stolen ultimate. Pantheon using the ultimate here, trying to jump onto Sivir. Sivir not going to be able to get away. As he leaves, the blue team turret is destroyed, but B-Sin being slain for that turret being destroyed, as Smoothie is just sitting here pummeling away at the top side, but TP being used by Salt to try to stop him. And here we go, Static Navori, as I said earlier, for the Sivir. Sivir also being done for quite some time with this call, so probably just holding on to it for the extra stats and lifesteal on hit. Only reason why I could imagine why they would continue using it. Marbra being, just sitting there in the middle of the lane, just like, oh, I can fight. I'm the support, but I can go ahead and fight them too. You have attack store 3 health per hit, so I think maybe that's the one reason that they're keeping it.
Yeah, it probably hasn't been a big enough gold difference to matter for the next item as well.
Exactly. I think, yeah. I don't know what item they're going next with the longsword, maybe a Phantom Dancer or something. But the Rel ultimate coming down to try to keep this, to keep the Anivia locked in place, as he doesn't be able to go into egg form. Nice, excellent wall to be able to save the Anivia and keep that egg up for another day. But right now, they don't know if they're going to be able to get the Anivia away, because there was Bonkers right behind them. But now another fight coming out as Beard and everyone is here. TP now being used here as Smoothie goes in, but not going to be able to get away. Equalizer drop to try to slow them down, but it's going to come right back around. Beard being able to kill out B-Sin, but Scion taking out Salt as Deity comes in here, but it's just going to lead to his death, as Smoothie is barely not able to get away. Shut down, going over to Beard, using the ultimate to keep himself sustained and alive. TJ going to have to dash away to get away from the Swain E to get grabbed, but that's going to be a big fight, as they're able to win it 4-2, being for the side of Goat Kings, and Goat Kings now being able to bring this from 4K before, now down to only about a 2K deficit. But they might be able to translate this into a dragon with these 2 Leandri's mages. They might be able to do a lot of damage to it. Actually, nope, they're not going to even want to even try to do that. Instead, they're looking like they rather just be like, let's take the win, put some vision down, and make sure they can't get this next Ocean Drake. Because again, this is probably one of the considerably more stronger souls on the map, and I'm sure that neither team wants to give it up to the other. So let's see where this ends up going from here.
Rylai's has been completed on the Swain, so those big team fights where he gets to ult and hit 4 people continuously, it's going to be dealing lots of damage to the team. They're going to have to watch that.
The ult is right now at a point where it's at 2/3 up, so by the time he gets into this fight, if they really start it up, or if it's extended to the beginning, he's going to have that ultimate up and ready. The ultimate, the teleport was just used by the Scion to get him down here quickly. They need that big team. They really do need that big team fight tank. And right now, Scion showing that he is it, even though he is being shredded by a lot of this AP damage, as the Drake is already started by the side of HYG. HYG brought it down below 3K. 2K Equalizer being dropped as the Set ultimate is being used to get himself into the back line. Blue team ends up stealing the Drake and now getting the kills, as we see 3 people drop by the side of HYG as Goat Kings is going in. They were able to take away Salt, but not going to be enough as 4 team members go down. Double kill going over to Deity as he takes down the enemy AD carry. All that's left is now the mid laner for the side of HYG, as they're being backed off. Even though these kills are even, this game is even, it looks like Goat Kings has finally unlocked themselves, and we're going to see a hell of a fight now, and this is what they've been waiting for. And it's looking like that immediate ult means we're going straight for the Baron.
That's no Pantheon, that's a Mantheon. He is here to take over this game. Stealing the dragon, chasing down kills, telling his team, come on, it's time to get this Baron.
Again, this is the way Goat Kings generally tends to play. They have a strategy where it's like if one thing is on fire, just work on everything else. And they managed to try to bring it back around where literally their map was kind of on fire at one point. And it looked like, once again, HYG showing they are really, really strong in this early game when it comes to how they work with their team fight, how they coordinate their mid jungle presence, and honestly, TJ showing that he has the ability to be in different places. But right now, I think they are still, in some cases, just maybe being not necessarily out macroed, but just more of like, now like that Goat Kings has managed to get their footing. It's like, okay, now we can start to play the way we want to play the game. Like, they're just kind of now, it's no longer their map to dictate. It's now officially Goat Kings to dictate. Even though they do still have some more map pressure, like they do have more bot lane pressure, that's not where Goat Kings are currently focused. They're more focused on their top sides and trying to get those things pressed forward. And since they took, and again, that showed by them being able to take that Baron so easily after that team fight as well.
Well, and like the last Dragon fight, you know, they were definitely in position and definitely, you know, 2,000 hit points away from taking the Dragon. But just trying to figure out when to pull that trigger. I think they were really trying to think, get the Dragon, get out. We don't need to fight this. And then, you know, they let Goat Kings be the one to pull the trigger.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. Here's an engage that you only have 2 spell shields technically with the cleanse and the spell shield being used. Sivir being able to barely get away, having to use the ultimate just to get themselves that speed. But now that extra go button, that extra gap close is no longer an option for that team, as we see a small little 1v1 going on between Bonkers and Salt showing that the set does a lot of damage when you're up against him alone. And even though he's sitting at 1 and 6, he still kind of hurts. Set's another one of those champions. He just needs to itemize fairly well, and it just ends up leading to him winning. Doesn't matter how much he's just. If you're good at the champion, you just need you know that you're eventually gonna come back into the game. And right now, a lot of this pressure where you had Salt trying to stop the Scion from being able to back and help the mid lane from being pushed in, but now you got Salt taking that bot lane turret, and this mid lane turret looking like it might be able to get something, even though the Rel jumping in and being able to get the engage, ultimate being used but stopped by the wall. Bonkers gonna be able to secure a kill onto the target, but is that gonna be enough, as Salt was also there being able to get that fight, but the traditional AD carry being there to HYG, turning everything around as they're able to get these insane shutdowns immediately and not losing any members for themselves. Even though that fight was definitely looking like Goat Kings at first, where they were able to stop a lot of the engages that came in from Scion and so forth, immediately the wombo combo hit and they were able to get something going as they continued the extended team fight, trying to take down Deity. Deity gonna try to take down Marbra on his own, able to trade back a kill, but now that's gonna be the ace going over to the side of HYG and immediately swinging the game back in their favor and trying to make this look like they want to go for a game 3. Well, we're not going to obviously get the end of the game here, but they're showing the cases that they want to make for a game 3. But don't take it out just yet on Goat Kings. Yes, they gave a lot of shutdowns. Yes, they gave a lot of gold back to the side of HYG, but it's still going to be a mountain to climb up back, because like, yeah, you guys managed to take back the lead from like them like having the Baron and everything, but they still have that same team fight composition that you guys have to worry about with the Taric R and everything like that. So, and I'm not saying that the stolen Taric R in that, I think that was what was used in the last fight, was able to stop HYG from dying literally, plus Zonias and all that extra safety, but it definitely made a big factor for them. So now, without that being the one thing that they have, is it going to make a difference as another fight with the Rel ultimate being used to be able to secure them all in. Equalizer dropped as Rel is separated, but Salt being in the middle of all the rest of them, he ends up getting taken down, but TJ ends up losing his life to the Swain, as this is a big fight. What did I say? You have to still be careful. You may have won that one fight, but it's not going to be enough, as this time they trade away and they only end up losing one member this time around. They're going to end up securing that Drake, and it's definitely going to end up giving them the potential to go straight for that mid lane turret right after this. I literally said it right before this. you guys were able to make a big fight happen, but don't count on Goat Kings just yet, as they're going to be able to get another fight. The stolen Tark ultimate makes such a big difference when you're able to have that extra survivability against the enemy team, and that is now another Ocean Drake and now Soul Point being secured for the side of Goat Kings, and they're going to be able to also get this inhib as well.
I think it was also exceptionally big on the previous fight that HYG had won, and they're pushing mid, that Deity was able to trade 2 for himself when they were pushing down mid lane. Beeson getting taken out by the tower there, not having that 80 carry to help push down towers and potentially threaten another inhib, and the decision to split by HYG to push the 2 lanes did not open any inhib, did not crack the base yet, and now they have the open base.
And this is literally what they did last game, where they cracked the middle first, then they eventually ended up securing a second Baron, and then they ended up cracking the 2 other sides after massive team fights. I think right now Goat Kings know that they have the overall team fight, like they just feel that they have the overall better team fight, so they're trying to make something happen. As right now Smoothie is now being chased down, but since you're all alone, you have 2 people on you, double stun landing onto you, and immediately Deity going on a rampage as he's able to kill the top laner with a little assist from Salt, giving him just a little extra gold and KD for himself. Trying to improve that, even though Salt has been just basically rampaging himself immediately in. Oh wait, hold on, as Bonkers does not care. He really wants this Anivia, but taking so much turret damage that Anivia might end up literally eviscerating you under the tower, trying to stop him from backing so he can't go ahead and aid his team at the Baron. But like, are you really going to be able to stop him from doing so, as he still has eggs, so he might be able to just teleport away from this if he wants to, but he has more than enough time to back. I think HYG is not even worried about it. They just said, we have to give it up, we have no way of contesting this Baron. Blue team ends up securing it, all 5 members. And once again, we're seeing Goat Kings literally utilize the same exact strategy as before. They end up cracking the mid lane. They end up trying to go straight for Baron. After they get the mid lane inhibitor, they usually end up having some type of push the waves in. Let's see if we can secure the next objective that's up. And then now let's start putting pressure on the side lanes. And usually, I think right now what they want to do is, maybe with the Drake coming up in 2.5 minutes, oh, they're already doing it. Push the top side a little bit first, have someone rotate towards bot side, or as they already do, Anivia's on the side lane, and then be able to get ready for the setup for the Drake in about a minute. But as they see, Bonkers was all alone, so you have 4 members up here, but TJ now splitting up the fight as 2 of them are there. But Rumble having to be here for his laners, as well as Marva being able to be used, but the ultimate being dropped down, Tark being able to do it, Salt getting another kill for himself as TJ goes down, Smoothie being able to barely get away with his life, Big Deity going unstoppable as he takes down the Scions. Beard being able to actually secure that kill, as he thought he was going to get away, but double kill going over to Deity, as they're not being able to take down any other members. Deity using the ultimate to try to catch off Beeson. Beeson going to be able to utilize Spell Shield and maybe the cleanse to be able to get away. Not enough, as the ace goes over to Goat Kings, and they're going to be able to push this in, and it's looking like they might actually be able to push for the game. Oh man, yep, there it is. They were able to get that last one big team fight that they wanted, and it ended up translating right now to what's looking like the end of the game. There's nobody who's going to be able to get back up in time for them to be able to end this, as it's still 5 seconds. They end up taking the game. The series ends up going over to Goat Kings.
Wow, really great stuff. Really close game. Lots of kills,
This
lots of
one,
objectives.
yeah, this one was definitely what I was expecting from game 1. Like, game 1 seemed like much more of a snowball than game 2 was. And so I'm just like, okay, so this is what we're gonna get this time around, is like, okay, we're gonna see like another one where if either team's gonna win, it's gonna be because one team significantly snowballed over the other. But that's not what we got. This time we got a much more even game. This time, Beard being the one on the damage carry, like carrying in the damage department, versus where we saw it was more of Reaper last game. But as you said, much more even game in the distributions overall. I think that these teams definitely shown that they're you can't lose with either team that you're voting for, and I'm kind of hoping that that's how it's going to be overall in the this is like what this is showing. It's going to be an indicator for the league itself. I think this is just going to be an overall extremely exciting season. Congratulations to you guys on the Goat Kings for being able to secure that win. Are we going to do a quick interview with anybody at all, or are we? Oh yeah, that CC score. Jeez, man. I don't know. Post game interviews. Who don't like to do them? Sometimes you like to talk, get some insight from people at the end of the game. Maybe the viewers wanna hear it. Yeah, if Beard or anybody from the Goat Kings want to jump into production, chat with us real quick. Let's go ahead. Come on. Definitely. Do we want to do MVP votes, anything like that as well? Because there was definitely like both games, both teams definitely had some really good showings. But I definitely want to give some props to both Beard and Reaper. Definitely showing that they have prowess on the champions that they play. Definitely very level-headed players. But Deity, that last game, jeez, man, good job to you. The who was it that said it? Someone said it in chat at the very beginning. No, like that Deity's pantheon is insane. He's just everywhere. Yeah, literally, you were right. So congratulations, starting off your season for Goat Kings on a really high note, a very positive note. Definitely showing that you guys have a lot of power and a very strong team this season. And oh, we got
We got Go King Beard and Deity here.
yes, sirs, yes, sir.
How you guys
What's up,
feeling?
gentlemen? Pretty good after that series. It's a fun series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and HYG, credit to them. You had our head spinning a little bit in Champ Select with all the flexibility options, especially through the first round of picks. There was a lot of different pivot points for both teams.
I thought for sure that was a Silas support. I'm a little disappointed Marbra didn't play it against us. I love watching his Silas. It's scary as fuck.
Yeah,
So
definitely a
that's
lot of flex there. I think not that Marbra did a bad job in game one, but I think that was definitely good to see from their team. There's more flexibility too with putting Beast in as AD carry, giving you guys a different look, some more things to think about.
Yeah, we definitely didn't see that one coming.
and I think it definitely proved to be a good switch up for them because the game was significantly more even once they kind of made that switch. I think Marbra coming from the mid lane role, going support, and then being able to like just kind of having that utilization. I'm sure you guys are like, he's probably going to be roaming a lot, and
And he was.
yeah.
He roamed a ton. He was actually a menace around the entire map. No, they played really well. I think our comps were just a little easier to pull off and a little stronger in team fights.
So let me ask,
Especially, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, are we going to be seeing a lot more of these mages in the bot lane from you?
I'm not sure. I've been playing a lot of different ADCs. I just started playing Swain again the other day, and he felt stupid strong. So figured why not pull it out. And game one,
vicariously through him.
Yeah.
I'm not able to play it.
In game one, getting the Seraphine, I mean, it's hard to not pick her when she's available.
Salt's over here saying Swain Seraphine OP. Actually, yeah. So, and I said that about game one for you, Beard. That was funny that you actually got the Seraphine, and we learned why it's banned once again by you.
She's definitely she's real strong, especially in the team fights.
Oh man, I'll shout out James game one for sure, or Reaper first game.
Yeah, his Ziggs was insane.
He popped off on that Ziggs, like he was destroying people with that Ziggs. That was crazy.
That was actually,
absolutely.
I think, personally, that was definitely the highlight of like game one for me. Was definitely the Ziggs play. The amount of times he got away with like a sliver of health, like it was either double or single digit. Like he was playing out of his mind. He was, and that's just generally I feel like how Reaper plays. He's level-headed, cool, and I think he was just having fun. I guarantee he was having fun in the comms too.
He wasn't having fun game 2, but yeah, game 1 was fun. Yeah,
No, he wasn't.
the Scion mid was definitely not expected. So I mean, I think it was cool that they were also trying to do like flex picks, and they were sending a lot of different champions around different places. So it was definitely a fun series. It was definitely not like conventional drafting, which I
Yeah.
like to see
A little less
for
telegraph.
both our teams.
A little less
Yeah,
telegraph
it
in game
wasn't.
1.
Yeah. In game 1, it was. I mean, the draft order was pretty standard. Like they picked mid bot, we picked mid bot, and then we picked jungle top. They picked jungle top, kind of thing. But then the next game it was just kind of like, oh, we just picked random champs, and we're just like, all right, we don't know where they're going yet, but they're going somewhere. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's fun to see our boy Smoothie again on the other team. Sag, we miss him. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. GG's. I love all the HYG boys. So
Yeah, GG's did HYG for sure.
And welcome back to the league, guys. And I'm glad you guys had a fun time. Is there any final words that anybody wants to say before we kick off stream and everything?
Thank you guys for actually running the stream tonight. We all appreciate it. I'm sure everyone who was watching really appreciated
yes,
it.
sir.
Having live games is always a lot of fun.
Drop your primes.
Guaranteed 30 days of love with Valhalla Esports. Drop all your Prime subs here, guys.
Absolutely. All right.
All right.
You guys and everybody, all the beautiful faces in chat. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.